Of all the movies that were coming out in the summer of 2025, Fantastic Four First Steps was the one I was looking forward to the least. Yes, even less than the obvious shit show that Jurassic World Rebirth was gonna be, because I just lost faith in the MCU after crap like Thunderbolts and Iron Heart. I mean, do you blame me? And add to that a summer full of mostly subpar films, mostly being the key word, where the expectations were already low, and the films couldn't even match that. And also the facts that Fantastic Four was an IP that had never delivered a good film, and the cast and early screenings had given us all the hints to assume we were up for another woke, empty shell of a film where identity politics was gonna play the main role, while we as audiences would try to finish our bucket of popcorn ASAP to then use the tub to throw up in. But oh, how wrong I was. Not only is Fantastic Four First Steps a fantastic film, it is, as shocking as it may sound, one among the 5 best films that the MCU has made since Endgame, and also the best origin movie since Doctor Strange all the way back in 2016. I also realized another thing, that the promotional tour part, where Vanessa Kirby and Joseph Quinn spoke about the whole tweaking the film for modern audiences, well, it was all just rage bait to make sure all those who are totally done with that kind of nonsense just start going off on the film and draw eyeballs towards the project. And guess what? It worked to perfection. Either that or someone grew a brain and fixed the whole damn thing in the 2 or 3 months they had before the film released, which seems highly unlikely. But we'll talk about that later. And many aspects of the film were similar to James Gunn's Superman, except they've been put on screen in a far better way, which I'll also talk about further in the video. And don't worry, this will be a spoiler-free review because I want you to go watch the film, because if this movie flops, there's a good chance Marvel makes more of the shitty ones. So yeah, please go support the good stuff, guys. Fantastic Four turned out to be exactly what it was supposed to be. A story about the first family of the Marvel Universe. The film set in 1960 in a parallel universe also known as Earth 828, where we are given a brief glimpse into the origin of the superhero team of Fantastic Four via a 60s style TV show which seems to be celebrating their 4th year of existence. We are thrust right into the middle of the team's exploits in the current day, where we see the 4 individuals involved in every single aspect of the society. From stopping criminals and supervillains to resolving political issues and, of course, saving people from accidents and pushing the barrier of what's possible scientifically. The best detail about the film, which made the whole thing seem streamlined, was the fact that this is the only metahuman team which exists in their reality. And the brief yet insightful glimpse into their origin also gave new audiences a chance to understand just what the team is about and establish the relationship between them and their character traits ever so subtly, which is more than what the Superman filmed it, because 3 sentences of text isn't usually enough for that kind of thing, is it? And the total lack of any other superheroes gave the film a tunnel vision, so it was all and only about the team who the film's based on. No nostalgia bait cameos, no addition of unnecessary side characters, pet being robot whatever, that actually feel cute and have a purpose instead of being annoying little shits that make you want to pull your goddamn hair out. No forced and dated humor, and a plot that doesn't feel overstuffed whatsoever and lands in the sweet spot of being just right. All the things Superman 2025 wishes it did. James Gunn's project, much to my chagrin, just ended up being a mess of a film that was rescued by a pair of fantastic leads. The reason I keep bringing up Superman is because it was supposed to be the film that made superhero movies cool again, and finally end the curse that the genre has been suffering through since Endgame. But guess what? Turns out, the film that did the deed was another one from the franchise that carried the damn curse all this time, which has lifted the jinx, and it looks like the revival, as short-lived as it may be, is still on the cards. Basically, Fantastic Four is everything Superman should have been. The plot isn't really anything spectacular or special, so after the origin story of the leads, the film carries on, and within a few minutes, we are introduced to Shalom Bal, aka the Silver Surfer, who despite my early complaints about the gender swap was pretty good. If Marvel wants to go ahead and actually do this, then this is how it should be done, because it didn't feel forced whatsoever. So after the intro to the Herald, we learn about the existence of the cosmic entity known as Galactus, who aims to devour the Earth to satiate his hunger. And as far as terrifying villains go, Galactus is one for the history books. Every single thing about the character will give you chills. From his scary baritone voice to his mountain-sized build, and his intentions, which are neither hateful nor emotional, but purely based on survival. And the best part, They've left Galactus' origin a total mystery, as they should have. It's stated in the film that he's a being who's older than the universe itself, and it would take decades for even someone as smart as Reed Richards to even begin to understand him. That gave Galactus an aura that was bloody terrifying. And speaking of Richards, damn man, Pedro has gone and done it again. The following statements are indisputable facts. Pedro Pascal is overexposed, woke as and does not fit the character of Reed Richards on paper, especially with that damn mustache. But the guy can totally own a role, and he did it again because he made it seem so damn perfect. He's the quintessential Richards because Pedro has nailed all the character traits, like being overwhelmingly smart, which sometimes makes him logical to a fault, but there's no question about the purity of his intentions. And unlike what the test screening reviews said, he is the clear-cut leader of the group. And despite that being true, not once do you feel like one member is given more or less importance than the others. Well, this is how a team should be. Unlike other shit shows who are trying to mask the MCU behind other established characters. Ugh. And Sue Storm's part is that of being the most emotionally intelligent person on the planet, and Vanessa Kirby does a brilliant job. She's like the driving force behind conflict resolution on the planet, and a sort of a mom to all the Earthlings in many ways. So the perfect fit to birth and raise a cosmic entity like Franklin Richards. Kirby, who's pregnant at the time by the way, God bless her, looks drop dead gorgeous, and the empathy she has for all the beings on the planet is conveyed brilliantly on screen. The perfect partner to Reed and the soul of the team. Johnny Storm too isn't altered at all. He's still the womanizing, quick-witted, risk-taking, hard on his sleeve type of guy. It's just that they've very smartly excluded any situations from the screenplay which would bring out his flirtatious ways, for the most part anyway. And the thing, body of stone, heart of gold, and it shows. I was initially not happy about recasting Ebon Moss-Bachrach as a different character in the MCU after his previous stint as Micro in the Punisher series, but once again, they've made a brilliant move by keeping his human appearance limited to less than 2 whole minutes in the entire film, which makes it almost inconsequential how his human form even looked. And Ebon has grasped Ben's mild-mannered, mature demeanor perfectly. Even the side character of Herbie, the robot, is so heartwarming. The team almost treat it like a sentient being, petting and showing it love and other emotions, which gives it the kind of a warm presence that James Gunn tried to give Crypto and clearly failed. After just 20 or so minutes in the film, the story becomes all about the Fantastic Four trying to stop Galactus and all the troubles they go through in hopes of achieving that. There's emotion, heart, drama, just the right kind of subtle humor that's been missing in the MCU for years now, and a mid-credit scene that you absolutely shouldn't miss. The team ends up functioning like the perfect being, with Reed being the brain, Ben being the brawn, Johnny the heart, and Sue the soul. Not a low-key MCU film as they made it seem earlier, and not a woke one either. Just a heartfelt tale of a family that want to protect and preserve all life. An almost perfect origin film which is heartwarmingly old school, and also the one that broke the curse for the Fantastic Four IP, and potentially also for the MCU. This is what a step in the right direction looks like, as the movie's title suggests, and one that I'm gonna go watch again because it's worth it. That's it for today, folks. I'm gonna go eat a fantastic fruit bowl.